Hello Plymouth, Luke Pollard here, I'm your Member of Parliament. Today MPs have been voting on Boris Johnson's Brexit bill. This will mean that the UK will leave the European Union at the end of January. I voted against today's bill because it's a bad deal for Britain and a bad deal for Plymouth. I was also re-elected on the mandate of opposing Boris Johnson's Brexit deal just over a week ago. So I was going to be true to the words and the commitments that I gave people in the general election by voting against this deal. It remains a bad deal. The guarantees that we saw in Theresa May's deal on workers' rights and environmental protections have been dropped from Boris Johnson's deal. They've taken out the additional safeguards that Labour MPs won before the general election, and they've included new provisions such as removing the rights of unaccompanied child refugees to be reunited with family in the UK. This is a bad deal however you look at it. But the Tories have a majority in Parliament and they use that majority to push through the bill. Now, there's further stages of this bill in the days and weeks ahead after the Christmas break, but there's not a lot of time for scrutiny. The Tories are ploughing it through, and that means that this bad deal is going to be implemented in law. I'll continue to oppose bad deals that will mean people in Plymouth could well lose their jobs, that workers' rights and environmental protections will be compromised, and I will oppose any trade deal with Donald Trump's America to stop his grasping hands being got on our NHS and the lower standards for food and agriculture in particular that would be required with that trade deal. Frankly, Brexit is a mess. I don't think this deal will resolve the problems. We're not at the end of Brexit, we're at the very start of it. I think it's time for politicians to be much more honest about what's happening with Brexit, and that's what I'm trying to be with you. I really worry about what's going to happen to our city and our country in the months and years ahead. We know that we'll be leaving the European Union at the end of January. What happens after that? I don't know. We have to renegotiate a trade deal with the European Union and every one of the 70 countries that the UK enjoys a trade deal with at the moment. I don't know whether the Tories will try and force us out with a no-deal exit by that point, because many of the right wings of the Conservative Party want to see that happen and are voting for Boris Johnson's deal to get us out of the EU and then collapse the trade negotiations in the next stage of Brexit. But look, Brexit's not going to be over on the 31st of January. It's going to be with us for many, many years to come. I'll continue to fight for Plymouth to give a voice to all those people who are concerned about the Brexit process and to all those people who want to see Brexit done right, because the detail around Brexit matters more than the sound bites. People in Plymouth have their jobs based on the detail about the imports and exports of goods, about the sharing of information and effort across borders, about our security arrangements that rely on data transfer and close collaboration and cooperation. No one in Plymouth has their jobs based on 3-word sound bites like get Brexit done. That's why I'm going to continue standing up for our city and standing up for decent scrutiny of the Brexit process in the months ahead. This is Parliament's last day before the Christmas break. My office in Plymouth will be closed until the start of the new year, giving all my brilliant staff a few days off over the festive period. Thank you again for all your support that you've given me over the course of this year in the general election and since I've been re-elected as your Member of Parliament. I'm not going to stop standing up for Plymouth. I'm going to continue arguing for us to get our fair share, but I will be taking a few days off with my family over Christmas. So thank you very much for your time and your support, Plymouth. See you soon and Merry Christmas.